the enemy, always the enemy. Now let's get things crack-a-lackin'. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. As you can see by the title, guys, I've always wanted to do a testimony video for like years and years and years, even before I even I don't know, whatever. I've been writing things for my testimony since quarantine, so really 5 or so years. I have everything on my laptop here. This is just one page. The reason why this is gonna be a part 1 and part 2 and maybe part 3, maybe not part 3, but like part 2 is gonna be like really, really long, is because my childhood. Okay, let's start there. Speaking of let's start there, let's actually start there, okay? We're gonna start with when I was about 4 to 12, I'll say. I always grew up being a very quiet person, most of the time by choice, but like not by choice, because I really want to talk about, I'm gonna tell you that, okay? It was really, really bad when I was 4 or 5 to 12. Well, really till now. As the years went on, I realized that technically I actually wasn't quiet. When I feel included is when I tend to talk more, open up more, because we're not gonna do this, bro. We're not gonna do this. Like I told y'all in my first video, whatever. Go check it out if you didn't. Go check it out if you didn't. I told y'all that I am a professional yapper. Like you just have to give me something to talk about. Like after you like include me, I'll be talking to you, I'll be saying what's on my mind. But while I was being quiet throughout all those years, and even really, I say 4 to 12, but I really mean like 4 to 4 to 19. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, 4 to 19. Okay. Anyways, so while I was being quiet, I was sitting back and observing and watching and listening of what was going on in people's lives. Like for instance, I would see people's reactions, like when they're talking to someone else, or when they're reacting to someone else, or if they're playing or whatever with someone else. I would observe them. Not that I was like sitting on the sidelines like, you know, I was playing too, of course. I loved playground. I love recess. I would like look over, even like in classrooms, I would look over. I could tell a lot of how that person is feeling. Whenever they're not talking, I would watch their body language, and then I'm just like, huh. I've always been a reflective and deep thinker. Hence as to why I was so quiet, you know? Not hence, but perks of being quiet. Yeah, perks. Not perks. Pros. Pros. I really think like so deeply on life. What people say, people's emotions, what they're thinking of. I just really think and wonder like what people are actually feeling beneath the surface, and like what's actually going on beneath the surface, you know? Without people saying too much, I can like understand them. I really absorb emotions deeply. That's why I take things to heart quickly, and we'll get to why I do that. So in a sense, I have like a tender conscience. I've always been the type to care a lot about everyone. Like I love hard. I care a lot about how others are feeling. I'm also very self-aware of my own emotions.
Just a really emotionally intelligent guy,
which has actually grown stronger throughout the years. I am a heavy overthinker. Cons as to being a quiet person growing up. Due to me overthinking a lot, I reflect a lot. I replay things in my mind, not as an obsession, but because I'm processing things again with intention this time, you know? Because I would be thinking like, I should have said this, or I should have did that, just so I can improve next time. Stuttering is blowing me. I stutter a lot when I'm on camera. I don't stutter this much in person. I would stutter like a little bit, but like, I don't know, my heart is like, I'm trying to calm my heart down. Oh, my nails. I'm trying to calm my heart down. Oh, I think it's just because I'm talking about something. I think because I'm talking about something so passionate that like, yeah, when I do talk about something that I love, I talk a lot. Like my words speed up. I get so happy. I get so jittery. I be stuttering a lot when I'm with like my mom or my older brother. I be having so much to say. I love talking to them. And I love them, of course. Shout out to you. Don't do that. That's cringe. But it's hot. I turned the fan off and I closed the vents. Let me open up the vents. Never mind. That'll work. But I was saying how I care a lot about what people are thinking. It's cold. I'm a very soft and sincere-hearted person ever since I was younger, and I still am to this very day. I feel strong compassion for a lot of people, for someone else's situation. You know, I would put myself inside of their shoes when they would cry about something that like didn't really sit right with them, or like something like bad happened. I would like tear up and then I would cry, but like nobody would see it. It was like this one time, it was like a group, middle school, and this one girl, she was like the popular girl, and there was like a few popular people in our grade, and I was her sister. Well, like friend sister. I was one of her like 2 to 3 friend sisters. But yeah, something had happened and it was like probably 5 of us, and she was crying because the thing that had happened. Everybody was comforting her and everything. Of course I was comforting her too. She started to cry, and then seconds after, I felt it. I not only understood, I felt, and I really wanted her to get the justice that she deserved. So I don't know, a tear came down, and I was kind of happy that no one's seen the tear, because I didn't want no one to be like, she's just crying so she can also get attention, just like how so-and-so is getting attention. I don't know, I'd be thinking like people just say anything bad about me. So I was kind of happy that no one seen me tear up, but I really felt for her. I felt for the situation. I was sad, you know? And so yeah, I put a lot of people before myself. I've always been a more personal and emotional type of person when they don't show me that same level of care back. So yeah, so my heart notices I'm going to use my left hand more aesthetically pleasing for this channel. I feel desire to heal people, even if like they don't ask for it. I would still be like, I want to do everything in my power to make sure that they feel okay again, you know, that they feel that joy again. Like I said, when people would try to like switch it on me, where they would try to turn something positive to something negative about me, like my kindness for weakness basically, because I would be like, why are they creating this false narrative of me, this false perception of who my character is, you know? So that kind of made me felt like I was vulnerable. How do you say it? Vulnerable. I never know how to say it. Alexa, how do you say vulnerable?
Okay, but which language do you want me to translate to?
English?
Hmm.
Where's my phone? I'm gonna just use my laptop.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. I forgot the sentence. I'm vulnerable. Okay, now it just sounds like I'm being a victim and I'm trying to speak my case. I'm vulnerable, basically. We're gonna move on. So I'm like a very sensitive person. I feel like they can like push me around. We're gonna talk about how all of that kind of turned into me having like social anxiety, like this fear of rejection. This set the stage for all the emotional distance and hurt that I had started to feel that kind of shaped my inner world. Like I said, this kind of made me feel like left out a lot, unnoticed, like an outsider. When I told you that I would be talking, laughing, talking fast, whatever, everything with my family, under all of that, I was in pain, internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It was just a lot. I grew up living with both my parents in my life, but not in the same house. I lived with my grandmother, my older brother, and my mom for like years and years. And then my older brother and I moved out, and then he got another house after the apartment. Why am I bad at explaining? It was 4 of us. It was mainly my older brother and my mother that really made me feel these thoughts. Everybody would always be laughing and everything. But then I guess with me being the younger sister and the youngest in the family in the household at the time, it just made me feel like I was like insignificant in conversations. All of the feelings that I had when I would tell them about how I'm truly feeling was just because I was a girl. I was like the middle child. When something would happen at home between my brother and I would go to tell my mom, Cam did this, Cam did that, da 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 da. Time after time, year after year, it's just like my mother always took my older brother's side. I'm like, yeah, he's older, I get it. It kind of feels like you should believe him because he is older, but then it's like not everybody is capable of being right. And then not to mention he was lying. Of course, I'm just a girl, I'm just dramatic, I'm a brat. I'm like, bro, I see this with my own eyes. How are you gonna tell me? I'm not exaggerating. This, I witnessed him lying to my mother. I was right there next to him. He got the, okay, good, you didn't do anything wrong. But then for me, it's just like, I did. And so then like once we walked away, whatever, I was like, why did you lie? And we both know that he lied. I don't know what, it was a very, very, very long time ago. It feels so weird because it's gonna be like, yeah, I don't remember what the situation was. So of course it's gonna seem like I'm lying. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, please. So it made me feel like, so my thoughts and what I heard and seen aren't invalid. I didn't say that, of course, because I was a little kid. It just really felt like she never believed me. I mean, there were some cases where she did believe me. I'm not even gonna say, I'm not gonna make it seem like my mom was like my #1 enemy or whatever. But yeah, there were times where she did believe me, you know. But for most of my life that I can remember, throughout all of the years from when I was 4 to 21 right now, she still don't believe me. Whether it's with my older brother or my youngest brother on my mom's side. I'm like, why can you not believe a female? Your daughter. Like, and I know what you're thinking, why didn't you talk about that? I'm gonna get into that. She always believed everyone else over me. Not even family related too, but it can be like with me and like my best friend, for instance. She'd be joking a lot, she'd be trolling a lot. So it's just like, guys, I don't know, is this eating with these two in the front or no? let's say me and my best friend are in the car or whatever, and then my mom was like in the front seat, whatever, and me and her was in the back seat, whatever. So that even like in 5th grade and even till like to now, it's just like my best friend would troll or whatever, say something about me, and then my mom would believe her and be like, yeah, da, da, da. And then I'm like, no, mom, she's just playing. And when I say trolling in this case, my best friend, she would like, I don't know, I really don't know how to explain it. It's making me seem like I'm like crazy for not remembering. I've been through a lot. I've wrote down a lot. So it's gonna make me seem like I'm crazy because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do, I just don't remember every single little detail in my life. But I remember a lot of details. So I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, even like with my best friend, I'm just like, Ma, she's clearly joking. You can hear the laughing tone in her voice. Like, Ma. And all of a sudden, no, I believe it. I'm like, bro, I don't know. It's just like, so every single human on earth is always gonna be right and not me? And even when I talk to her one-on-one about it, it's just like I'm still in the wrong. I'm still not capable of being right. And it's just always the other person's word over mine. Even in church, this one guy in church, he's my brother, of course. Not my actual, but you know, my brother in Christ. And he be trolling, everybody trolling. Not everybody. I really don't want to say it. I'm about to cry right now because, like, you know, like the manipulation stuff that be on TikTok. When you're talking to like a master manipulator, when I'm like, oh yeah, tell me the time that I did that. And then of course, you can't think it. I'm gonna insert some videos about that, and people be laughing while they're saying it, and then my mom still believes them. My mom be laughing with them. I'm like, I'm a very, very sensitive person. So it's like when everyone, oh, she's just being too sensitive. It was just a joke. Yeah, but my mom, you don't know how many times my mom agrees with other people without actually like believing in me. So it's just like, she just believes everyone. So, I don't know, you guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. I just sound crazy, I'm sorry. This time I tried to express how I felt. Okay. Anytime I tried to express how I felt. Okay, cool. She like pushed them to the side. She tried to validate them by saying, oh, I was just being dramatic. Or act like I was just in the wrong altogether. It's like, because she's my mom and an adult, she believes she can never be wrong. And that my feelings, like, of course she would be like, I'm a loving mother, your feelings do matter. And I do believe that. Like, I do know that she knows. With my mom, like, the minimizing, is that the word I want to say? Or like, I'm not even finna ask Alexa because she's on timeout. But like, diminishing, I think that's what, I don't know. It really made me feel like I was invisible. I started to question myself and be like, maybe I am being dramatic, you know, maybe my feelings actually don't matter. Maybe that everyone else was in the right all these years, every single situation where it involves my mom, me, and somebody else. Maybe I'm just the problem always, and that maybe I just shouldn't speak up for myself at all. That's kind of why I didn't really speak up for myself. Almost everybody in my family knew how I wouldn't like speak up for myself, or how like I really wouldn't talk that much. Whenever I use this word being ganged up on, not like in a game, but like in the family, my mom pushed it down and like, I can't think of the word, but just like dismisses it. She dismisses it. I be feel like I'm getting ganged up on you and my older brother. I be telling her, and then it's always, I'm gonna keep saying that. It's always, I'm just being dramatic, I'm being sensitive. No, you're not. It's all in your head. I'm like, bro, you wanna tell me what I feel? I've been feeling this ever since I was a little kid. Like, experienced teasing, rejection, and humiliation. It's always ended up being humiliated in most of the situations. But everyone makes it seem like I'm crazy and that what I thought and what I feel isn't what I think and what I feel. So it really made me like second guess myself constantly. I should just stay quiet altogether. Whatever I would say wouldn't be right in anyone's eyes, you know? This really made me feel like my thoughts and everything weren't truly valued and appreciated. My mother just turned every boundary into betrayal. Back when I was talking about the one-on-one conversations, you know, with me and my mom, when I would talk to her about, you know, what I was feeling and how the immediate family made me feel, it was just like whenever I tried to speak up for myself, it was, oh, I'm being disrespectful. It just made it seem like I was betraying her or something and being a terrible daughter for speaking my mind. I tried to speak up for myself a little bit when I was a child, because of course, like, children do not stand for nothing. They gonna speak up when they feel like they're in the wrong. Some of them, you know. When I was younger, I would tell her, but it was, she would kind of understand me, but then I was still a kid, so, you know, kids, I don't know, kids don't, I don't know. When I got into like the actual cautious, that's two different words. Conscience, we're not gonna do this. When I got the consciousness, okay, I felt like I was betraying her as a daughter. When I was upset, I was being called too sensitive. When I tried to speak up for myself, I was being called disrespectful. When I tried to express how something hurt me and how I felt, I was told I was overreacting. When I tried to stand up for myself, it was labeled as me being a problem. And when I needed space to process and to think of how I feel, it just turned into me being distant and ungrateful. And I just really remember how, I think the word is prominent, I don't know, I'm gonna say prominent. The word, like, it was really prominent in quarantine time. Because of course, you know, you were bound to be at home with your family. That's when I actually did used to like close the door a lot. Not on like my mom or anything else, but like I would go into my room, I would close my door, I would close my curtains or whatever. I would just cry. I cried a lot in quarantine all the way into this very day. I'm so sensitive. I remember being told I have thin skin in elementary and middle school, so like, wow. I was just crying because I'm just like a superhero. Someone who like gave birth, who birthed me, who loved me, who raised me up in the way that I should go, and like my best friend, like, I don't know. Plus, since I am a female, of course females are more emotional, everything's more high-end, they think more, it's just a lot. I just felt like it was worse as me being a female because it's like, of course, automatically I'm going to be deemed and seen as being overdramatic, a brat, and sensitive, so it's just like nothing helped my case, you know. Over time it made me feel like my feelings were too much and that it didn't matter at all. The words that my mom and my older brother would say, I'm not going to say those words again because I probably already oversaid it, but those words actually really stuck to me, especially me being a very sensitive and thin-skinned person. The words that they said to me, I took those outside. It stuck to me, especially as a child, and things stick more with you as a child. It just came easier to take the blame for everything, even for things that I didn't cause, because deep down I already knew how it would end, so I would try to avoid it by just agreeing or just not really saying anything at all. All the thoughts that I wanted to say would just build up in my mind, and then I just really learned to stay quiet. And since that happened like at a very young age where I was already kind of quiet, it just made me even more quiet, and I learned to let things slide. I would always carry the weight for taking the blame of things, so I carried a whole bunch of different type of weights and different types of burdens when it was never really mine to take. So that's why I've been called quiet for majority of my life. It's because I didn't share everything that I truly wanted to say. When I hear things like you're too sensitive or like you're dramatic over and over again, I start to believe it. A small mistake or a harsh word just weighs like so heavily on me and on my heart. Even now as an adult, those words still replay in my head. Like, so it kind of transferred over years and years later, where I felt misunderstood and unheard by those close to me. I really felt like people didn't truly get me. So it really made me struggle with reaching out to others for help. A lot of different friend groups that I had was really all about like my personality, really, of course, within elementary, middle school, and high school. So I was friends with the popular people. I guess you can say that kind of made me popular. And then I was friends with bullies. There was like this one like bully girl who was known to being a bully girl. Like, she was like really cool people. I was friends with nerds. Everybody was so nice. I was friends with a lot of people. Like, what? Why I chose to get homeschooled again in the middle of 10th grade was because I went to a Franklin high school, and then there's a Franklin middle school. Most people knew each other from Franklin Middle School. I didn't know anybody there. I already did feel left out, not only because I was a new person, but because everybody knew each other from middle school. It was more than 5 females in the group in high school that I was friends with. They were like known by a lot of people and everything. Within said friend group, I started to feel more excluded, I'll say. I don't know, it just felt like things started to get more and more clearer within 10th grade. People's intentions and people's true thoughts and like feelings, I guess, for me, has started to be more evident in my life. Like, I can see it more clearly, you know. So I'm just like, well, like, what the heck changed? It's like y'all was rock with me like a little test run for a year, and then the year after that, you're just like, no, we're not gonna. I don't know. I got it. I noticed it a lot at lunch because that's when everybody had lunch or whatever. So of course we all seen each other. I started to see it more in the lunch table. I'm just like, bro, there was like more teasing and everything. I felt something that was like a shift. There was more. I could talk more about what happened in 10th and 9th grade back then, but like now a whole bunch of things have happened to me, and so a lot of different thoughts have been like pushed down, but I'm trying to remember them from the best of my abilities. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you more, but I forgot a lot of it. But I just remembered it was bad enough that I wanted to get homeschooled again, to get away from these people. It was a lot. It would just be so much negative self-talk and speaking down on myself, questioning my worth and everything. I didn't believe that I deserved success like other people. It's because people made me feel so down about myself. I was really big on people pleasing, and I cared what people thought about me. I know you should not, and you should not care what people think. You should really not care what people think. But I did for the longest, for 15 plus years. People kept talking down on me, so I started to believe that I was the problem, that I was a sad person that people painted me out to be. When I say sad in this sense, I mean sad just like, oh, she's not as this as us, oh, she's not like this, like that, you know? So I thought that something was wrong with me. I started to think of myself like how they said I was, or I would think like, why am I not like them? Less confident in myself, low self-esteem really, and self-worth, and asking like, why am I even here? Every little thing that happened in my life just added up to this big, humongous like storm cloud. Just felt like if at home wasn't really a safe space, and if school wasn't, it just really made me feel like alone and like trapped up in like my thoughts and my feelings.
Sometimes I just wish I could fade away, because it's easier to be alone than it is to constantly be misunderstood by people I love the most.
I've dealt with a lot emotionally and mentally. My mental just kept getting progressively worse throughout the years. I'm just so grateful, and I wouldn't trade anything. I just thank Jesus for truly like coming and knocking on my door. I answered. I'm like, bro, I would try to help people how I truly felt. It was like they would just keep pushing their perceptions of me, just telling me that I'm wrong to feel how I'm feeling, I'm wrong to think how I'm thinking and everything, and how actually seeing it this way, how what I'm experiencing is actually totally different from like what's happening. I'm like, what? I would try to say, no, that's not the case at all, and that like it's way more than that. Like nobody truly like listened, and it just felt like they were trying to say that they know me better than I know myself. I just really wanted people to see my heart, like to truly see my heart, to stay with me without me convincing them. At the time, I didn't understand that that was Jesus all along. I wasn't really I wasn't at all delighting in my weaknesses, and I see it now. I always hated myself for it, because I was really just like, why can't I be just like my friends? It's not coveting or being envious or jealous, it's just feeling left out and doing all trying to fit in. I remember seeing the saying, why fit in when you're born to stand out? That trying to fit in, trying to be like everybody else, where God wasn't calling me to do that at all. That's probably why it was so much turmoil, so much distress, so much suffering, because I wasn't called to fit in to be like everybody else. I'm called to be set apart. I'm called to be a light built a town.
I'm finding it.
Let's go, a town built in a city. Now I'm going to talk about this period in my life where I had referred to myself as being the oddball out. What I mean by this is that I was usually friends with the more popular people and the more outgoing people, and me being the quiet one in the group. But I did love when people would go out of their way to talk to me. Like, I really love that, because it really made me feel included and seen, and because of that, it made me open up more. Another reason why I call myself as being like the oddball out, a yellow apple among red apples, meaning that like, I mean, you get the gist without any explanation. I just became so overly in tune with other people's emotions that I kept pushing mine aside or more back, just prioritizing a type of person I wanted to be in front of people, so that I can please others, so that I can attract more people to come and talk to me, or that I can go and talk to them. Just became overly aware of other people's expectations of me. Just shaped myself into this person that was more sociable, that was more acceptable, and that was less vulnerable, you know? Behind that false version of me was actually me, my quiet self, my funny, hilarious self, just a kind nature and everything. Real me was hidden behind everything. My true thoughts, my feelings, my actual personality. Everything was just tucked away temporarily, just because I'm trying to fit into someone's expectations of me, you know? It's like I wanted closeness. There's like this fear of rejection, or this fear of being someone I'm not holding me back. This fear of feeling like I'm never going to be enough for them. I was just really unsure on who to trust and how much trust to put in people, and just really how to connect with people easily, just like how other people connect with them. I just really felt unseen in groups. I felt unheard, I felt insignificant, I just felt different, really. That sense of indifference led me to put on a version of myself that didn't reflect who I truly was. In a way, I was holding myself out of fear and out of insecurity, hoping to be validated by people. And this created this like distorted version of myself. I became someone shaped by pressure, fear, just a deep desire to feel belonged. And the more I molded myself to fit into other people's perceptions, the further I drifted away from who I truly was inside. There was this big gap of who I was portraying myself to be and who I actually was. That gap just really made me reflect on who I wanted to be and who I actually wanted people to see me as. A lot of those talking stages and friendships, it kind of felt like the honeymoon stage. It always felt so good where everyone really got along and I felt like I was being seen. But then after those 6 months, say like 6 months up to a year, things would start to shift. Just like every time that shift happened, that's when those thoughts of, you know, being insignificant, feeling small, feeling unheard, misunderstood, just everything, that's when those thoughts started to creep up again. It really made me question, like, what happened? Like, everything was just good, you know? I started to think of myself as being the problem because I really tried my hardest to fit in. I really tried my hardest to be the best person for them. And then after a while, I just started to expect disappointment from people, meaning that, like, while we're talking, in the back of my mind, or even like towards the front of my mind, I just always believed that disappointment would just be so evident in my life. I'm really pessimistic for the longest points in my life. Even when I don't think about being disappointed by people, I would still get disappointed. This really made me further question, like, what is going on with my life? Why am I on earth, you know? Why am I alive?
Next time on Kirsten Brianna 2.
As you can see, there's a few elephants in the room. I didn't know it was spiritual warfare. I didn't know the term for it. I don't know, I just thought it was like bad things happening to me. I'm getting excited. However you want to see it, glass half full, half empty.